Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend I don't like the person she's turning into?
You end on a tricky one. Best of Redditor updates.
The last
means
three have been tricky.
It's juicy. It means it's juicy. It's on Best of Redditor updates.
Which way is it juicy, though?
Yeah. Oh, my God. This is for all the marbles here.
No pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I could tie it up and then absolutely shit the bed next episode, which is
That's
definitely
true.
possible.
Just go 0-4.
Yeah. Shit. Oh, man. Because we have so many stories like this, but both ways.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm worried about their mental health because of this or that.
So
or,
I'm going to
oh,
feed her
man,
sawdust.
Yeah. I'm worried about the fact that they're fat. I don't like the person they're becoming.
Yeah.
So it's just,
that was the sawdust guy.
That is the sawdust guy.
Yeah.
So, fuck. My heart says, statistic-wise, this person is an asshole.
Okay.
I don't know if that's right, but I'll just go with statistics-wise. Yeah, I'll go with asshole.
Boyfriend is the asshole.
Not feeling great about it.
I think you would have said that either way.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So locked in. You're saying OP is the asshole. Let's see if you get the last one correct here, Sean, for 2 points.
That's what I like to hear.
First, the backstory. My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years and met in college. For the past 4 years, things have been great. I always thought I was the luckiest guy in the world, and she's incredibly out of my league. About a year ago, my girlfriend woke up in the middle of the night and had a panic attack. She couldn't breathe, and I ended up calling an ambulance. She has no history of panic attacks, but was really stressed at work, so we think that's what triggered it. She's currently taking time off work, which I absolutely support, but she refuses medication. The doctor recommends anxiety meds. She says that she doesn't think the medication would help when the panic attack was stress-induced. She doesn't have many friends, and I think that could be also a contributing factor. She has overall been happier, though. So far, he handled the panic attack way better than the last guy we talked to.
True. The last guy handled it like the devil himself.
Yes,
like just the worst possible
literal
fucking way
Satan.
imaginable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the last 6 months, however, she's been changing a lot about herself, and I don't know how to address it. She's dyed her hair in a natural color. She started wearing more black and dark blue. She's gotten into heavy metal and rock, and she's gone vegan. I've been slowly asking her what's with her new look, new interests, and she said she met a girl online who lives in our city who is into the heavy metal scene, and she's taking a liking to it, and has made many friends because of it. I was fine with the new interests and friends, but I was a little cautious because it's such a drastic change in short time. This past Friday, while she was meeting up with her friends, I asked if I could come along. She said she didn't mind, but asked if I was sure, since it's not really my scene. I honestly just wanted to meet her new friends. We got to the show, and I'll admit I was kind of surprised that metalheads are really nice. Sorry, and then in brackets he says, sorry to metalheads reading this. The only person who didn't acknowledge me or talk to me was this one guy about our age. After the show, everyone was hanging out, and her attention eventually got pulled away from me. She started to talk to the one guy who never said hello to me, and maybe I missed it earlier, but talking to her was the only time I saw him smile the entire night. She also clung to him quite a bit, which made me uncomfortable. At around midnight, I couldn't find her, and I texted her saying it was getting late and that we should go. She texted back saying that she wanted to stay, and if I wanted to leave, she understood. I got angry, but just texted back, fine. She came home at 4 a.m. completely drunk. Holy shit. I was awake and pretended not to be. Saturday morning, I was very distant while she nursed a hangover. She eventually asked me if I was mad at her, and I said yes. I said I'm happy that she's not stressed anymore and meeting friends and finding new interests, but she's a completely different person than she was 6 months ago. She argued that she's the exact same person, but I countered that her 6 months ago would never have told me to go home alone at midnight while she got shit-faced with people she barely knew and come home at 4 a.m. She got defensive and we fought, and she ended up leaving, saying she was going to stay with a friend for the night. She came home Monday morning and we talked. I told her I'm worried about her, and she said she's fine. She's finally in a place where she's happy, and I should be happy for her, and if it's such a problem, then we should take a break. I was shocked that she was so willing just to throw away 5 years, and I told her as much. She shrugged and said that she has to put her happiness first, and I asked when her happiness shifted from building a life with me to partying with random people she met. She rolled her eyes and got up to leave. I told her I don't like who she's turning into, and she called me an asshole and accused me of not wanting her to be happy outside of our relationship. And then he edits, we're both 25. Am I the asshole? am I the asshole for filing for divorce because my husband over tightens all of the jar lids?
Firmly grasp it.
I gotta think that's not the real reason.
All right. So his over tightening jar lids has been an issue since he was just visiting my house when we were dating. First, it started with just things he used, and then over time it became every damn glass jar with a metal lid.
The fuck?
Okay, hold on. So is this it?
Bang on.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
He would tighten them so much I couldn't open them without assistance. It wasn't a huge deal if he was there, but if I was alone, it was so annoying. More times than I can count, I've opened a new jar of something because I couldn't get the jar open on the old lid. It's been a recurring cycle over the past 5 years. It's just a thing that would escalate until I had a major meltdown and freaked out, screaming, frustrated, and seemingly crazy because it's just a lid. Then it would get better for a while. Then it would slowly become an issue again. Just getting worse and worse until I reach a breaking point again. Sometimes I will literally feel insane for being so upset over jar lids. He initially claimed that it was to keep food fresh. After many arguments about it and my insistence that I don't believe it keeps anything fresh, and even if it does make things last longer, I don't care if it means I can't eat my freaking food when I want it. I'll just replace things that go bad because they are closed normally. Then he had the excuse that it was out of habit. So, about a month ago, my husband had a family emergency and had to travel out of state for 10 days.
Goddamn 10 days of not being able to access any of your food. That'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
First day he's gone, I discover a jar I can't open. I was so annoyed and I was going to stop by the store to pick up new pickles when the neighbor said hi and to let him know if I need anything while my soon-to-be ex was out of town.
I'm in a pickle. Please
is
open.
this
A meet cute?
romance? Yeah.
I said wait here and got the jar, which he opened. The next day I saw him outside and asked him to open another jar. He offered to come open all the jars. And I agreed, and he came in and went to
What
the
other
fridge.
jars you be opening?
No cheating. I'm not saying you should cheat.
No.
I'm saying you should get a divorce and then immediately hook up with it.
And then have a romance with the neighbor.
Yeah.
I agreed, and he came in and went to the fridge and opened all the jars except 2, which he couldn't get open. I thanked him profusely and told him I'd bake him some of his favorite cookies later in the week. Kind of cookies. John Cena kind of cookies?
Randy Orton.
Yeah. Those would be his favorite.
He laughed and said it was no big deal, and after confirming that I wouldn't be upset if the remaining 2 jars were destroyed in his attempt to open them, he took them home to his garage to open them one way or another. It's crazy that he had to, break out the tools to get them open.
I was going to say, don't they have, things on Amazon? I imagine there's got to
Yeah,
be
there
a
are.
jar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He said that he had heard me screaming about frustration over tightened lids a few times over the years, and he's really pondered if I was crazy or if my husband was really over-tightening the jar lids.
Damn. Thin walls, baby.
Yeah. He said, this was intentional. It was every jar, and I'm sure he doesn't regularly use hot pepper paste or mayo puree or any of the other fancy cooking stuff. Then he held up the 2 jars he couldn't open and said, I don't know why he's doing it, but this definitely wasn't an accident. After he left, I locked the door and sat on my kitchen floor and cried. Then I felt hot and lightheaded. I vomited in the trash can, my chest hurt, and it crossed my mind that I might be having a heart attack. I thought about calling an ambulance, but I just sat back down on my floor instead, okay with just dying if it was a heart attack.
Oh my.
Damn.
It sounds like a panic attack, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Just not diagnosing, but that's what it sounds like.
Never diagnosing.
Never. Later, the neighbor came back with an open jar of hot fudge and apologized that he couldn't save the figs. He said he broke the jar trying to get it open. He also apologized for what he said about my husband doing it on purpose, and I assured him that it was okay. I couldn't sleep that night, tossed and turned all night. I called out of work, and by 10 a.m., I realized that I couldn't stay married anymore, and I made an appointment with a lawyer for the next day. There are literally no other issues, no cheating, no abuse. We had a good sex life, both have good jobs, nice house, no financial issues. He was absolutely blindsided when he came home and I told him I wanted a divorce. He still won't admit that he tightened the lids on purpose. He suggested we go to marriage counseling, but I refused. There's no point. I just literally can't get past the goddamn jar lids. I still feel a bit crazy about that. I have no idea why he would tighten every jar lid so tightly that I couldn't open it. He has given me no reason. He still won't even admit that he did it on purpose. But the hot pepper paste in the back of the fridge, I only use it when I make Indian food. It's behind other things, and he's never used it. It's nothing you could put in food without cooking it. The pepper paste could not have been used by accident. It couldn't. Maybe he put mango puree on his toast or in his oatmeal, but the pepper paste couldn't have been an accident. That's what my life has come down to. I'm getting a divorce because the lids to my hot pepper paste was over-tightened. If it had been every jar except that one, I could try. I could have a sliver of doubt. I could do something else, but I just can't get past the hot pepper paste. Most of our friends and family think I'm crazy or an asshole, but what do you think? Am I the asshole for leaving my husband due to our son's paternity?
So he's not the father?
You are not the father. So I, 36 female, met my husband, 42 male, 10 years ago.
One more time?
42 and 36, 10 years
10
ago.
years ago.
He already had a 3-year-old son who I'll refer to as T from a previous relationship. The mother wanted nothing to do with him and terminated her rights.
Oh.
A year after we got married, I adopted T when he was 5 years old. Our life, I thought, was as close to perfect as you can get. Great relationship, rarely argued, and as a family unit, everything went well. However, a few months after my son's 14th birthday, his biological mom showed up wanting to reconnect with him. After a long discussion with T, he decided that he didn't want to get to know her. He said I was his mother, and he didn't want or need another one. As his bio mom had terminated her rights, she didn't have any legal way of forcing contact, so she did something I thought was just an awful attempt to hurt us. She claimed that she wasn't even sure that my husband was my son's biological father. He had no reason to suspect he wasn't at the time, and he didn't believe it when she said it either. But T was worried and wanted a paternity test done. So we got the test done, and we both assured him that no matter what, we loved him and that we were a family. Well, the test results came back, and my son wasn't T's biological father. They were both understandably devastated, but what I didn't expect was how angry my husband got at T. He was acting like it was somehow T's fault. Over the next few days, I had many fights with him telling that his feelings were for me and him to deal with, not T. T is a child, and right now we need to be protecting and supporting him. My husband screamed that he also needed support, and I responded that I was supporting him, but I wouldn't support him in hurting our son. To which he responded, "That's not my son."
Oh, fuck you.
This led to an even bigger argument where he stormed into T's room and yelled at him to get out of the house, and then turned on me and yelled, "Get that out of here."
Get that T for that?
Yeah,
What are you, the fucking dad from Wicked? That's crazy.
that reference goes over my head.
Yeah, I forgot. You didn't watch Wicked.
And John doesn't watch movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched Wicked, but I forgot all about it. Right?
That's crazy.
Dude, as soon as that green baby is born, he's like, get it out of here.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like, whoa,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That was like the beginning scene, right?
That's why you forgot it.
Yeah.
Too early on.
The med should have been kicking in at that point. That should be all you remember from that.
No, brother, fucking Juliet picked a freaking afternoon screening. I'm like,
Oh,
ready
you're
to
zoned
sleep
out
like
the
that.
whole
Yeah,
time.
I'm zoned out, bro. I was eating my truffle fries in my movie seat.
So I got him out of T's room and held T and told him that no matter what, Mom loves him and that he will always have me. That I didn't give birth to him, but he's my baby and nothing will change that. So I packed some of T's things and then went to pack some of mine so we could go to my parents for a few days. But when I went downstairs with T's things, my husband smiled at me. He smiled. He saw T's bags packed and gave himself this self-satisfied smile. I don't know how to explain it, but in that moment, it was like a switch flipped in me. He was happy to throw my son away. He's a completely different person to me, and I can't make myself feel any kind of sympathy for him right now. I told T to get in the car and went back to get my things. This is when my husband started freaking out about me leaving, which turned into him crying and begging when I told him that if it was a choice between my husband and my child wins every time. T and I are at my parents' now, and they have been very supportive. My mother and T have a very special relationship, and she hasn't left his side. I've been getting messages from my in-laws saying that I'm being heartless and unsympathetic to what my husband is going through, and that if I had just been patient, he would have come around. But frankly, I tried, and ultimately in this situation, he's the adult and T is the child. So am I the asshole?